we are on Golden Bachelor hometowns and then Bachelor in Paradise week 6, right? I think it's week 6. I just straight up wrote Bachelor in Paradise and Golden Bachelor. I didn't write their weeks or whatever, but you all know what it is. So my name is Rusenica. Welcome to my casual channel. This is where I talk anything casual or monumental in relation to life and life's events, and I always talk about the Bachelor, the Golden Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise. I always try to include the timestamp so you know when I am talking about Golden Bachelor, then when I transition into Bachelor in Paradise. Last week it didn't work even though I put the times into YouTube. Maybe I just don't know how YouTube works, I guess. But yeah, I'll be talking about the Golden Bachelor for a little bit, and then I'll cut off and then talk about Bachelor in Paradise. I really liked these episodes. Golden Bachelor is just so heartwarming, and then Bachelor in Paradise is just like the tea that I need. It is so beautifully entertaining, but it's way too long. 2 hours? It's a way too long. Honestly, like, if it were just maybe an hour, maybe even an hour and a half, but 2 hours is just like, okay, some of these things are very clearly filler. Anyway, so in Golden Bachelor right now, we are in hometowns. Well, I guess now we're past hometowns because at the end of the episode, we're out of there. So we're at Teresa's hometown. Also, let me just say, even though people who watch these videos probably have watched like all of my past ones, I talk the standout moments as opposed to summarizing the whole entire episode. I do recaps very casually. I have to make the disclaimer because somebody let me know that they didn't think that I should be recapping, but it's like, I'm not a professional. And they were like subscribed to like Nick Vile, which is like, okay. Anyway, so that was like something that if you only watch The Bachelor, you would get that it's, so Teresa's hometown, her family is adorable. Oh my god, but her daughter is so intense. Teresa's vibe versus her daughter's vibe is very much like, you can tell her daughter was probably very embarrassed of her growing up because Teresa just has like a very light, bubbly type energy, and she seems to be very much like, she lives off positivity. Negativity, she just has a Pollyanna effect, I feel like. And her daughter is so intense, like barely smiled once. It's just like, yeah, you seem to make my mom happy. That's great. I definitely know I watched The Bachelor, and just was so intense about it. I want to see the father side. If Golden Bachelor showed me anything, it is showing me that I would very much like to see family histories of all of these people. I don't care about the like typical Bachelor and Bachelorette's families the way that I care about these people's families. I want to see family, I want to see family tree, I want to see family dynamics, I want to hear stories, I want to hear why divorces happened, I want to hear deaths, I want to hear, like, it's like very fascinating how much curiosity you have when looking into these families. Okay, so Teresa, while she's, talking to Gare Bear, says that she's in love. And at first you're like, oh my god, that's so sweet, but honestly, I feel like for some episodes they were trying to make it seem like Teresa was like the front runner, but as time is going on, as you know, since this is spoilers, obviously, if you don't want to hear the spoiler, just skip ahead. Obviously, he said I love you to both women and left out Teresa, so it's kind of sad because you kind of thought like, oh, maybe he really did like her because he like was in this whole drama with her, like standing behind her. He chose her instead of what's her name, Kathy. And I feel bad because, it's gonna hurt her feelings when she has to go home. And she's the one going home because he's in love with the other ones. That just seems obvious. I'm emotional. I'm really emotional watching these videos, these families, because it really pulls at your heartstrings knowing that Gary comes into these familial households and sees like generations of people, and when it's like the Bachelor, Bachelorette, it's like, yeah, whatever, there's this guy I'm dating, There's a hard ass dad, and then there's like the mom who's like ecstatic to be on TV, and then there's like the siblings that like don't really care. But it's when you bring in daughters and grandchildren, it makes it feel like this is actually meaningful. Whereas the Bachelor and Bachelorette hometowns, it's like this could be meaningless completely, but all of these are meaningful. And I just, oh God, it's just beautiful. It's just so that I had a hard time watching, and I think I said to my husband, like, I'm gonna cry. I'm for sure gonna cry. It'll be a miracle if I don't. Somehow I didn't, but it was actually okay. They pulled out my heartstrings. So Faith has the second hometown. Love Faith. She just is such a sweet soul. Such a calming, she looks like a calming presence. And from her past, it seems like she's built this very beautiful life. And was it Faith's I think I said like, holy cow, Faith's family is attractive. I can't remember if it was Faith or if it was Leslie. But I remember seeing somebody's family and being like, they are all very attractive. That's crazy. Those genes go crazy. But yeah, I appreciate that she was a second hometown because I just feel like it was very realistic for also in that hometown for her to be like, you know what? I like my life. I do. I don't really want to move. This is my place. These are my people. So that just is what it is. And I love, but then they also said, I love you to each other in front of the family. And that was, I'm just an emotional person, okay? I have a hormone imbalance. It's like little things that should not, I mean, this isn't little. People probably maybe have cried out as well watching this, but I just like, it's just really beautiful to see families coming together. Gary and Faith feeling so moved that they couldn't even hold out on their I love you, that they said it in front of everybody to witness. That just was very, I can't even imagine. Not only like proclaiming love for somebody in front of my family, but also like even being proposed to in front of my family. Like that is something that could, my sister had that happen to her. I had that happen to her like it's a grave mistake. No, like I personally would much rather have very intimate moments to be intimate and between the two people who are feeling them. But in that instance, I was like, you know what? I get it. I see why they said it in front of each other, in front of their Faith's family, and it's just such a beautiful moment for the family to witness. Unless Gary breaks her heart, and we have to see the family be like, you literally told us that you loved her in front of us too. What are you doing, Care Bear? He has to marry her now. I just feel like it's a little unfair if he goes on and doesn't choose her because he said, I love you in front of the whole family. It's like, so you said you love me, and then like a couple weeks later or days, we're just broken up. Are you kidding? My literal children were in front of us. I think that Faith is the choice. Truly, I don't even know what else to say. She, to me, has the calming presence. She seems to be very strong as well. She's like a quiet confidence. She's could sing you to sleep. What else could you want? I just don't know, Gary. But also, do their vibes work, really? You know? I feel like maybe he's a little too boring for her. I feel like Teresa is up his alley in that way. That Teresa is just somebody that could keep up with him. And I feel like Gary can't keep up with Faith. Faith is a little bit out of his league. But she's the choice. I hope they work well together. But also him being the Bachelor, he has that edge. I just feel like he'll lose it once he gets back to like Indiana. You know what I mean? My mother-in-law lives in Indiana. I want to stop. What if I just see Gary? That would be crazy if I just saw Gary randomly while visiting Indiana. Okay, so I wrote down the farm living date was so special. Oh my gosh. It was so beautiful. I loved it. I can't keep talking about how I love Faith. I do. So Leslie's hometown date, wow. I love that her family seems so, maybe it was Leslie's family that was like beautiful. But I love that Leslie's family like knows her and they can kind of just talk openly and be very close. Because when there was some family member who was like, so don't you get jealous whenever he's like kissing all of these people? And she was like, do you think I get jealous? It's me. Like what do you think? I want to be that grandma. I want to be that grandma just to be like, y'all know me. Like, I don't want to be like, well, I respect that Gary. No, y'all know me. You do. So I just appreciate that. I thought it was funny. I thought it was cute. Um, Leslie seems very much like the cool grandma. The grandma with the trauma that you hear a bunch of stories about. I like I like the family. I like that these family meetings are like more serious. They're legitimately more serious because this is like people who are older who know what they want, who are very intentional. Yet they have a far more happy setting than any of like the Bachelor and Bachelorette videos episodes. Far better. Like it's really fascinating. I think somebody needs to do a case study on this. Somebody needs to. I don't even know what they would do a case study or theory on, but maybe it's just like don't get married until you're like 72. Gary's age. I don't know. But I don't know. So Gary tells Leslie, and we hear this for the first time from him, and we could tell he was maybe a little struggling with saying it because he didn't want to say it too early, but he tells her that he loves her. Sheesh. And I was nervous because I was like, oh my god, you just told Faith's whole family in front of them that you love her. And you know what? It shouldn't take away from the moment, but it does. It does. I felt bad for Faith in that moment because I was like, oh my god. And you know what? Cute. I don't even know what type of award I was gonna say, but cute, lovable Gare Bear. Just was feeling it. He was just caught up in the moment, right? I think he was just kind of like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell her I love her. I'm just gonna go off vibes. It's just what I'm feeling, and he just said it. And as the audience were like, oh, why would you do that so soon, Gary? But I don't really mind that Gary expresses him so much. I just care about the other women and the way that they're gonna process this. Don't give them a heart attack, Gary. They're so much more susceptible. Every time I see Also, I forgot to finish up my thoughts on Hometown. I was gonna go straight into the rose ceremony. Very wholesome, a lot more serious, but yet more happy. And now that's insane. Every single time I see JP, Jesse Palmer, I'm like, what are you doing here? Every time I forget that he's just the host. Not that I want Chris Harrison back. Who would I be if I was like, let's bring back Chris Harrison? But I'm like, I keep forgetting that you're not just like a stand-in. You're like the real full-time host. That's crazy. Yeah, like it's weird. So Gary has on a light purple suit for the rose. What a funky guy. I saw that scene. I was like, we're really just trying things, aren't we, Gary? Very interesting. It was also uncomfortable to look at. I don't know what it was. I just felt like it wasn't his color. The Bachelor stylist needs to do better sometimes. So he gives out the first rose. Who the heck did he give the rose out to? Was it Leslie? I think it was Leslie. Yeah, because it's between Faith and Teresa, and we're like, because, I mean, like, we're assuming that it's going to go straight to the person he told I love you to, correct? In front of the family. But I was going to say you never know with the Bachelor, but like, I mean, you never know with just men in general. Can't spell disappointment without men. So I really don't know what the heck this is going to entail. I hope he chooses Faith. Yeah. Leslie, I feel bad for her because she seems like she's very sensitive, but she'll get over it. Some guy will slide into her little DMs. Should be fine. I also really melted at the fact that Gary started crying at the rose ceremony. you just don't see emotional guys, especially on TV. Though, like, especially the guys on TV, at least in The Bachelor, would be like, sorry, sorry, I'm so, like, he just starts crying, and you could just feel the empathy that he has for other people, and the way that he's taking out of their emotions, and that's great. And then it leaves off on a cliffhanger, so that just not disappointing. Well, honestly, it was kind of disappointing because it's like, we didn't have to leave off on this cliffhanger. He told one of them that he loved them. Just roll the clip about what happened next. But I get they really want to keep viewership high. Okay, so I'm going to transition to talking about Bachelor in Paradise. I hold this little thing up so I can see what the timestamp is easily, so I don't have to, like, guess and go to where I'm talking about the Bachelor in Paradise. Sorry, that's weird. Anyways, okay, so Bachelor in Paradise. So the start of the episode is a continuation of the Cat Turner. Sorry, my cat is, my actual cat is just in the background causing mayhem if you hear her. The Cat Tanner drama, and I'm so tired of Cat. I have said it before, I don't understand why people like mean people like Cat. I really don't get why people, like, feel for them at all, why people entertain them. They just really drain energy out of me, and I feel like most people, but it's always, like, pretty weird girls who are, like, down to hang out around them, because it's like, I'm pretty, you're pretty, let's be pretty and petty, and then they just, hey, like, what? Tanner tells Kat, we're just, like, different personalities. And then from there, that, like, triggers and really hurts Kat's ego. And so then Kat just goes on this crazy little, like, I don't know, temper tantrum thing. And she's just like, you know what? He didn't leave me, I left him. He didn't leave me, I left him. So, and it really grosses me out because you can just tell she so badly just wants to be in the power position in any situation she's in. And I feel like whenever people do that, it's because they have some hurt that makes them feel like being vulnerable is truly a weakness to them. And it's also just kind of gross because it's like, you don't always have to be in the power position. Just admit it, he hurt your feelings and that didn't feel good. And on your birthday, yeah, you made too much of a big deal about it. You were too old to be acting like this. You're too old. Like, that should have been dead and gone in high school. And it grosses me out because people just are like, oh my god, I feel so bad for her. Why do you feel bad for her? She doesn't care about anything. Like, she wouldn't feel bad for you if this happened to you. She'd probably laugh at you if you were in the same position. What? I don't like the people who are friends with her on the beach. I don't. It's weird. So then Kat, like, every single scene in this thing, Kat just is, like, incessantly just, like, playing with her hair. And it everything about her is so childish. I can't stop talking about my disdain for Kat. So Genevieve, which is a really interesting way to play off Genevieve. Genevieve comes down looking cute, except for the fact that, what are your edges doing? Why do you have one single laid edge? What is that about? I'm sorry. I never want to make people feel bad about, you know, like, their hair journey, because, like, sometimes you have to go through, like, awkward hair journeys, especially, like, the black girls who have straight hair. I understand, like, some things are very awkward for y'all. But, like, as a pro natural girl, and just as, like, a person who just really wants people's hairs to thrive, do them better. Sorry. Her hair does, like, she's a beautiful girl, but I just feel like, do your hair better, God. She was looking cute overall. She has a really strong, beautiful face, that, like, can transcend bad hair. But, like, I don't know, she comes down looking cute. And I love when a girl is well liked in the environment because it just makes the vibes high. And it just makes it so that, like, people aren't on guard and they're not, like, being petty and rude, you know, to people, like, typically that are, like, night ones, people who left night one, typically bring out, like, the petty rudeness of everybody, which is, like, kind of hard for me to watch, because it's like, y'all are just rude and egotistical and so also, I am ashamed that I wrote this down. Why is Blake looking why is Blake looking kind of good in these episodes? Not in these episodes, in this episode. I was looking at Blake and I was like, normally I think you give me like Sully vibes. He gives me Sully from Monsters Inc. and I can't take him serious. But he was looking kind of attractive in these episodes. I don't know what the heck is up with that. He looks also a little different. I feel there's something about him that like changed for the better. But Genevieve comes down and she's like, who the heck do I want to pick? And then she talks to Blake. Jess is like panicking because she's like, I don't know, I'm like freaking out. I hate the whole Jess being insecure about this, because I understand, I think, where she's coming from, where it's because it's like, oh, I had a good thing going, but then I kind of broke it off because I want to explore, but it's also like I feel bad because I don't just want to do that. I'm not like that. I do understand where Jess is coming from as an emotional, sensitive person, but I'm also kind of still annoyed by it on the screen. You know when somebody, I don't know, when you can feel for somebody's situation, but you're also like, God, shut up. Just go on a date with somebody. Tyler wants to take you out. He thinks you're pretty. Just go. Like, mingle or something. This crying stuff is like, like, so, Blake and Genevieve, Genevieve asks Blake, and he's like, she's like, Blake, will you go on this date with me? And he's like, okay, I will. He says I said out loud to my husband, why did he say, okay, I will, like that? Because it was so weird, because it was like, he like so badly he wanted to be wanted, but he didn't want to be wanted by her, you know? He wanted Jess to make that sort of a thing. I wrote down, what the hell does Jess want? Even though what does she want? Seriously. I feel for her, but I'm also like, what do you want? So Kat focuses on John Henry. And I can't blame her because he's fine. You can't blame her. You can only hate her, but you can't blame her. But she is scrambling. Like, she is scrambling, and you know what? Do what you gotta do. Olivia and John Henry aren't like cemented in the sand. Is that what they call it? Cemented in the sand? That does not sound correct. They're not like final. They're kind of a newer couple. But as time goes on, I feel like I do like Olivia and John Henry. I mainly feel like it's more coming from John Henry or Olivia. But when John Henry was talking about what he likes about Olivia, I was like, you know what? I could see it. Because I feel like I need a man to say specifics as to why he likes a woman for me to be convinced that they're a good thing. As opposed to like, oh, if a woman's more obsessed with the guy, I feel like it doesn't work as well. You know? So then we see Eliza. Sorry, just thinking about Hamilton. I wouldn't trust what Kat says. Eliza and Kat have a talk in the bathroom where the cameras aren't seen. And Eliza is essentially like, or Kat is essentially like, yo, I wouldn't trust Aaron. Charity told me to not trust him because there was like an ex that messaged her and told her that basically we all saw what we saw. They had a conversation about a disgruntled ex, as Aaron calls her, and Eliza's kind of like, oh god, what do I do? And I honestly feel like we see Eliza and Aaron and people are calling them the strongest paradise couple. Where's that coming from? Aside from the fact that time has passed. If y'all are the strongest paradise couple and y'all are like constantly together, you think that maybe they would have built some sort of like even like a friendship or some sort of rapport that you would immediately go to him? Because like honestly, I feel like when you're on the beach and you spend that much time with people, that's almost like your best friend there. So like, why wouldn't you feel comfortable to like immediately go? But she waits like a whole dang day to talk to him. I mean, it's just chilling with her. It's like weird. So Becca comes in. She's really pretty. And does she not look a little bit like Kylie? Kylie and her, I feel like, have very similar faces. I feel like it's very much Instagram sweet girl. Beautiful, but similar. So Brayden, Brayden is being a little too friendly in front of Rachel. Ooh. Justice for Rachel, because if I'm like a very jealous person, if that was me, and Brayden is just like over there being like overly ecstatic after this like date that we just had, I'd be like, can you chill? Like, did we not have a beautiful night? Did we not? And you know that Rachel was feeling that too. I mean, because she said, and also because we know that Rachel be reacting. But I get it, because it's like, nobody's out here really showing Rachel the love that she deserves, I feel like. As much as where I felt a little bit annoyed by Rachel during her season, I feel like she deserves redemption because she got cheated on. And then also because, like, I feel like in the right environment, we could see her and really root for her. And this should be the right environment, but people are not really showing her worth, I feel like. Brayden kind of annoyed me because I was like, I feel like you're being way too friendly, way too, like... But I also get this is what Paradise is about, but it's still... It's like, why would you go on a date with somebody and the next day just be like, yeah, well, I'm just chilling, so... But I'm not going to tell you that I'm just chilling, I'm just going to, like, vibe around you. I just feel for Rachel, I do. Cat is Rose hunting. It's pitiful. It's really sad. It's just like such desperation. I feel like almost there's a superiority that Kat has where it's like, I'm just gonna go for John Henry because he's really cute, and I feel like I could have the one up on Olivia because I'm prettier. That's what I feel like she thinks. Like, would you not be surprised if she said that in like a confessional? We wouldn't. So then I started doing like the whole vying for John Henry's heart. Why the heck are they all so close? Who sat down first? Was it Olivia and John Henry and then Kat just sat next to them? Because it was weird that they pointed that out, like that they were both right next to each other. But I did appreciate that Kat or Olivia and John Henry were making out in front of them. Because it was like, yeah, girl, you like really thought that you had this in the bag, but here is my man. Wells, I need to go off on this tangent. Hold on, I have to check the time. I'm so sorry. I always have to do this specific. Okay, I have to just make sure that my phone is still recording. Wells is the perfect guy to get the tea from the beach because you know that people are gonna want to talk to him. Not only because he's been on the show and he's like a fun guy, but because people want to get the tea on him and Sarah Hyland's relationship. So people are going to talk about their own situations and get additional advice in relation to his own situation, which is like kind of getting celebrity tea, low key. If you don't know, which I'm assuming you do, Wells, the bartender for Bachelor in Paradise, I feel stupid even saying this because I feel like everybody's watching this and knows what I'm talking about. Wells is married to Sarah Hyland of Modern Family, who played Haley on Modern Family, because she was like a fan of the show and like tweeted at him, and they started like tweeting, and then they got engaged this past like, I don't know, whatever. They're married. And Wells, of course, is hired to do this, and it's crazy that people... I'd be talking to Wells all day if I was on the beach. Forget finding a rose. I will make a friendship rose deal with somebody, and just get the tea about what the heck Sarah's up to and what the heck this Modern Family is like. Charity comes down. That timing was too perfect. It was almost like producers told Kat to like bring this up at a specific time. You think that like could happen? Because they're gonna bring Charity down and they didn't just want her to waste her time, right? I don't know, because it just feels kind of random. What else would she talk about if she was there? Like, other than like, oh, this is awkward how my exes are on the beach. What else would, besides this whole drama, what else is gonna happen? So Charity comes down and gets a tea from all the women, and the whole Aaron situation, I feel like is rightfully odd, but I'm also kind of like, we do need to hear Charity's side. But I also, somebody mentioned in the podcast, it's like the Two Black Girls One Rose podcast, that Aaron seems opportunistic, which, come on, he really does. Sorry, I don't know why I'm burping a lot. I feel like it's an indicator of something going on. Aaron seems opportunistic. This whole thing is like a little too messy for him to talk himself out of it, especially with Charity backing the girl up who DM'd her. I always am for the girl who reaches out through the DMs. As much as it sounds sketchy, it just is like, why would a girl put herself out there in a DM? Like, no, but at the same time, it could be like, that's just a clout chaser. But I don't know. Especially when I just, my disdain for Aaron, I think, is making me back up this random girl. Because it's like, I don't see Aaron as somebody who's really there to truly be with Eliza. They're not gonna get married. They're not gonna do anything with a relationship. Like, yeah, whatever. But I do kind of feel bad when he broke the fourth wall and he was like, these rumors could ruin my life. Because once you bring something up to Bachelor Nation about your dirty little secrets and your like dirty laundry, they don't like want to see your side about it. They will tweet at you and post on their stories and comment on your Instagram posts and really just like show their dislike for you. I almost did feel bad about that, but it's like, what did you do though? Like, what did you do to deserve that? Interesting. And then we see Charity and Eliza talking, and we're like, fascinating. But I mean, essentially that's kind of where the week ends, and we're just like, what the heck is gonna be the tea for the next episode? And we can't wait. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have for this episode of Bachelor in Paradise / Golden Bachelor. I'm gonna try to get these up earlier. I can't seem to do so because me and my husband can't seem to watch on time. But I have other videos if you want to watch them. I highly recommend, if you're any sort of a Beyonce fan, to watch my Beyonce vlog, because I really put my heart and soul into that and I really like it. Yeah. Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, whatever time of day it is, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or night.